why you have no money saved and how we can fix that. In this video, we're going to talk about my top 5 money saving tips, no matter how much money you make. And if you are enjoying these videos and you want to see more of them, all you have to do is smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm so that more people get to see these videos and I want to make more. It's that simple. My last video I spoke about where I save my money, and today I want to speak about how I save my money and how I don't just spend it and how it doesn't just magically disappear. You know, you kind of get paid every week and you feel like you spend very little money and it's all just gone. Well, here is how to avoid letting that happen. My very first tip is to pay yourself first, then pay everybody else. Now this might sound a little bit weird, but just bear with me and let me explain. So this is a concept that I've heard from lots of people on YouTube who speak about money all of the time, and then recently I listened to Rich Dad Poor Dad, and it was again a concept that was spoken about in here. But the way I interpret it and the way I implement it is just that once you get paid, no matter what else you have to pay that week, you take away the amount of money you want to save, you put it aside, you put it into your investments, wherever it is, whether it's just the bank, whether it's into your real estate accounts, whether it's into stocks, you put that away, and then the rest of the money you use to pay everybody else. So you use to pay your bills and things like that. And this just makes you be a very diligent saver. The reason this is powerful is because if you just save whatever you have left at the end of the week, so you get paid, you go out, you know, you buy some new shoes, you eat out a couple of times, you just spend money whenever you really feel like it, you're not going to be left with an awful lot at the end of the week, especially if you're somebody who's not making very much money, and thus you're not going to save much money. It's going to be barely anything. And then when you see you only have 40 or 50 euro left at the end of the week, you're probably going to be like, fuck it, like what's even the point in saving that? I may as well just spend it. And then you'll go out, and then all of a sudden there's just another week's wages gone forever with nothing to show for it. If every single time you get paid you decide to put away a certain amount of that money and just forget about it, then you're going to have less money that you have the potential to waste the rest of that week, you know what I mean? So say you put 100 euro away, that is 100 euro you can't spend on things like clothes or shoes or food or expensive coffees that week, and it's 100 euro that you are going to save. So if you do that every single week, it adds up very quickly, especially if you are not saving anything just yet. This has probably been the biggest one for me, is just that as soon as I get paid, boom, money is gone, I forget about it, I don't have the ability to spend about it, it's just poofed, and it'll be used at a different stage when it's after making me loads more money. And this brings us very nicely onto my second point. I urge every single one of you to make yourself a weekly budget so you know exactly where your money is going. Again, this is something I didn't do for the longest time, and now I am, and oh my god, I wish I started doing it earlier. Just from knowing where your money is going, you're going to save so much because you're going to stop spending money on stupid things. Do you ever get to the end of the week and it's like all the money you got, say on a Friday, is just gone? It's just gone and you don't even know where it went. And then you go look through your bank and there was just loads of little 2 euro and 3 euro and then a few 20s, and they all just added up and all of your money is gone and you have nothing to show for it. That is something that nobody likes, when all the money is just gone. Well, this is why having a budget is so important. So the way I set up my budget was I have pretty much how much money I make on a weekly basis. Even if it does fluctuate, you can just take an average of the last 12 weeks and that's a fairly good idea of what you're going to be making. I put aside how much I want to save straight away, and then I see how much money I have to spend, okay? So hopefully you still have enough money to spend all of your bills and have a little bit left over. If you don't, you might have to look at your savings and cut back a little bit, but that's the way I do it. So the money I make, how much I want to save, then I take away my bills, and then if there's anything left over, happy days, that's money that you can fairly happily just spend on those little things. If there's nothing left over, again, just kind of reevaluate the savings and the bills, see if there's any bills you can cut back on, and just figure out a way to make it all balance out and hopefully have a little bit left over at the end. But honestly, you'll be amazed at how powerful this is. Just before you even get in your money, you know exactly where it's going to go. You don't have to think about it. It's powerful stuff. Just do it, please. At least try it. Just make one now. Open up Google Sheets and just make a budget. It'll take you 5 minutes. Try stick to it. You'll be amazed. Number 3, don't buy something now, buy it tomorrow. And now let me explain that a little bit to you. So, you know, you go to the shop and you see, let's just take this nice pair of shoes that's like 120 euro, and you really want these shoes, and the adrenaline starts pumping and you're getting really excited and you're like, man, I'm gonna get these shoes. Just take a step back, right? Don't buy them in that moment. That adrenaline rush is gonna go. Sleep on it, and if tomorrow you still want those shoes and you have enough money for them, get them. The odds are you are not gonna still want those shoes. It's just the excitement in the moment of seeing them. So don't buy something today, buy it tomorrow. The excitement we get from shopping doesn't actually come from buying the things. It comes from the process of looking for them and just thinking about them. And I guarantee you, if you sleep on it, you are not going to buy half as much stuff as you would if you just bought in the moment, if you just impulse buy everything you want. Now obviously you don't have to do this for absolutely everything. If you go to the shop and you want a bottle of Coke Zero for €1, you don't have to go, I better come back tomorrow. But you get the picture. On slightly bigger purchases, this is a fantastic technique, and I guarantee you will find yourself stop buying as much useless things. Now, point number 4 is monitor your micro transactions. So what I mean by this is, you know, when you go to the shop and say it's before work and you pick up a bottle of Coke and you pick up a chicken fillet roll and maybe a chocolate bar or something like that, and it all comes out to like €6 and you don't really think anything of it. But you do that every single day, 5 days a week, that adds up to €30. Monitor these transactions. These are the things enough people don't look at and they don't think about. That €30 every week. Like, do you want an extra €120 a month, or would you rather those chicken rolls and that bottle of Coke? When you put it like that, when you put it into perspective, there probably is a cheaper way that will feed you just as well, if not far, far better, and it'll end up saving you a lot of money. So monitor all of your microtransactions. Again, this is a massive one for me. It's not very often I'll go into a shop and just spend €2 or €3 that I don't have to. I like buying all of my food at a shop when I'm doing like a bigger shop, you know what I mean? It saves on buying things that aren't necessary. Now, every now and again, obviously you're going to go to the shop, I'm going to get a nice juice or a bottle of Coke here or something like that, but it's just not happening every single day, because trust me, that money adds up so quickly, and there are much better, cheaper alternatives. And the last one I have, that is a really obvious one, and is potentially the most powerful one here, is just stop buying things you don't need, especially overpriced things that you don't need. I think one that pretty much everybody talks about on YouTube is coffee. Going to Starbucks and spending €6 on a large coffee with a really long name that you don't need at all, when you know perfectly well you could just buy a big jar of coffee that's going to last you like 50 coffees for €3. To me, it is crazy, and again, everybody's going to buy one now and again, but if this is part of your daily routine, that adds up so quickly. So make the change. Stop spending €6 a day on coffee, or €4, whatever it is, and spend 10 cents on a homemade coffee. These are the things, especially if you're saving nothing, it makes such a difference and is so powerful. But not even just little things like coffee. There's bigger things too. You probably have a wardrobe full of clothes that you don't wear that are high quality that lots of people would kill for. Stop buying the most expensive things, wearing them once and leaving them there. At least sell them on. There's people making fortunes on things like Depop reselling clothes. Just don't spend money on things you don't need, is what I'm trying to get at. And again, it's okay to spend money every now and again. Everybody does it. Everybody spends money on things that they don't need. If we didn't, we'd all have pretty sad lives. I'm saying this with a collection of whiskey behind me that's worth nothing and cost me hundreds. But you get the picture. I'm not going out every single day and spending money on whiskey. It is something that is collected over a long time. And the same should be said for pretty much every other discretionary item that you can get. Just don't buy the most expensive thing to impress other people. I guarantee you, if you're struggling with money right now, if you're struggling to save, no matter what money you're on, if you're on minimum wage, if you're on a 20-hour-a-week contract on minimum wage, you can still save something. I guarantee you. Everybody says this to me when I put up my first money about saving. Like, I don't make the most money in the world whatsoever. I spend far less than people who are on minimum wage. I probably spend far less than people who make €200 a week. The amount of money I bring in doesn't dictate how much I spend. I just spend what I want to live the life that I'm happy to live, and then I save as much as I possibly can outside of that. So don't let your wage be your limiting factor. Just get smarter with your money and begin to save something. I don't care what it is, just begin to save something, because you will thank yourself for it down the line. So that is it, guys. There are my top 5 tips, honestly, if you just need to start saving money. I really appreciate you watching all the way till the end. Again, please smash that like button if you didn't do at the start of the video. Subscribe if you're new. We're so close to 900. I cannot wait to get there and share with you all my stock portfolio. Subscribe if you're new, people. I will speak to you in the next one. Peace.